Okay, and we're back. So, a bit of a story as to why we're back a little bit late. Well, a couple hours late. So, I've been doing once I got off the stream, I went over and started working on putting cards into decked on my phone again. Because I've been working on that lately to try and get I am almost flipping done putting all my cards in my phone. I got maybe just a couple thousand left to do, and this has been something that I've been trying to do for at least 6 or 7 years, is to get all these things into there so I could then take those files, upload them to my computer, open them in Decked on the Windows app of Decked, and then get all that stuff into an Excel file and be able to do a bunch of stuff with it just to see what my collection is and all that stuff. And while I was doing that, I checked because I'm also going to be building a system for somebody tomorrow. Checked to see if my packages were actually going to get delivered today, and both my USPS packages got dren canned, we'll say. So I had to either say, okay, I'm not going to be able to build it tomorrow and take a hit for that, or what I did, which was I actually went down to my post office and said, do you have this stuff that are supposed to get delivered today, but they got in too late? And I thought it was a Hail Mary pass, but actually they went back and got them. So I was there for about 45 minutes doing that, and then I decided to eat lunch. And then that's where we came here. That's how we got to this point. Actually, there was some in-between stuff where I was getting together all the tools and whatnot for tomorrow, but that is how we are here. So earlier, we went through here, and as you can see, this is a bit different than when it was opened last, when we were streaming just earlier. And I'll explain that in a minute. But we had gotten to the point where we had gotten the data from the plugin data from the this one. This is always so weird because this looks a lot like the icon sort of for RPG Maker 2000, so that's why I kind of like always am looking over it for. But the note tag data from in here into the plugin, got it all worked out, got the formula worked out in terms of what we had to do for the math.pow thing, and all the formatting and deconstructing of these things as well to get it all into here properly. And then we were talking about how we were going to set up the level up window and like the sizing of the window and how that stuff was going to work. So while doing that, after the stream, I was looking at this, and I decided that really this isn't showing what this isn't really it shouldn't be showing a plus on this, because this is not something that's adding. This is just what this is what the attack power is for the weapon and all these other stats too. Now, if it's a negative, in other words, if we're reducing a stat with a weapon, then yes, the negative sign should be there. But unless this is coming in from a bonus, in other words, so what I did with it was you'll notice I put the max durability up here too. What I did with it is on the function that we call for those, the set sign function, I put in a boolean. And what that boolean does now is it will basically it's B for bonuses. So if the value coming in is a bonus, in other words, it's a level bonus that we're showing on the level up screen or the refine screen to show an increase in a stat from gaining that level or doing that refine, then it'll show the plus because that means we are adding a certain amount to the current parameter. It won't show the full value of the parameter, I don't think yet, because, well, I'm kind of back and forth on this, because typically when you're updating a weapon, or not updating, when you're leveling up a weapon, typically you're not going to give it a whole bunch of stats at once. So it's possible that if we went down to 3 per row instead of 4 like on this, that we could do that, because maybe you wouldn't, maybe there'd be a limit of maybe 6 stats that you can upgrade at once during a level up. Like I said, normally you wouldn't be adding that many. Anyway, so I think what we could do is drop these to 3, and then we can have the existing and then the plus number of what's going to get added onto it on the level up screen or in the refine screen. As you can see here, we might even be able to fit in another one and have 5 per row. That might be pushing it though, because these could all have values. These are now the actual values from the weapon. These are not the test values that we're using. So these can go up to 3 or even 4 digits on some of these. So given that, I think this is probably good enough for now. It doesn't look all too good, but like I said, once you start adding more digits, because since we're adding, these are being placed here using the length of the section before it. So once we add new digits here, this gets pushed over. We have 4 here this could get pushed over. Then, as you can see, and then maybe if this even has 4 digits, it gets pushed over the line. So there's just things that we have to have this space here to handle, and I'm not sure if the 5th one there would allow that or not. I mean, just having a plus here on this, I think that's... what was I gonna say? What was I saying? Because we just had the pluses on this. That's all it was a sign, and that was enough. Well, it was a sign plus all the other numbers. So, yeah. With the test data and test information in there, it was pushing it all the way over. So, I think this will be just fine the way it is. This is also going to be fine just the way it is. Though it's still showing this because I haven't actually saved the changes to remove those ones we added in from before. So, actually, let's go ahead and do that. Apply. I don't have to apply, just have to save. And load this. Now that's also something you have to take into consideration with this. With instance-based weapons, any changes you make to the weapon in the database are not going to affect save games because the weapons are instance. They're saved. The stats for them are saved in the save file. So this plugin is not going to be update friendly in terms of weapon changes. Well, changes to weapons that already exist. So this is something to keep in mind. Yeah, there we go. So we only have bleeding and poison, and then the what'll happen once we add in the, or once we do the stuff to do the level up. Once we get to level 3, it's going to add in the blind trait, or hopefully it will, and we'll actually see it show up here for the level 3 choice. So what we are going to do now is on the level up window, we have the code down here. I just commented it out so I could test the no sign thing. Let's go ahead and uncomment it now. And uncomment that. We're also going to uncomment the thing up here because I disabled that as well. So level up info. Need to rename the function to that. So here we are. Alright. So we have to kind of go about this a little bit differently. So this stuff is still going to be here. Actually, this might change. We'll have to see with that. But this stuff will mostly remain the same. The experience, we're not going to show the removed experience. We're just going to show whatever it has. We're also going to do text coloring based on this as well. So if, like for example, if a particular level has a bonus to a stat that makes it go negative, it'll be displayed in red, and then if it's a positive one, it'll be green. If it's no change, it won't show at all. So you're only going to show changes to parameters here. Traits, it'll always show the traits though. But the parameters, we're only going to show the ones that will change on that particular upgrade. Maybe we should just do that with traits too. Maybe that is the way to go. Only show it if there's a change to that trait. Well, the top stuff will always show. Maybe this bottom stuff will show only if there's an update to it, or whatever will show will have something with an update to it. So, like for example, if on this first level we upgrade only the AGI, then only AGI will show in this box, and it won't have any traits showing. First, though, we need to actually pull out the data for that. So, what's the best way to go about this? So we should pull out, I think we pull out the traits, because the way we have it set up now is that go down here, is that we're saving the, so we have a property on the game instance weapon object that's called level bonuses now. Here, somewhere. Where are you? I know I added it. Oh, there it is, level bonuses. And it's basically just I believe it's is it an object or is it a list? It's an object that contains two lists. A traits list and a parameter list. Actually, the trait list is also an object, I think. Yeah. But it contains a level. Right, it contains a level object. So, the sub bonuses, level bonuses, params, param ID, params. So the param IDs and then a list for the params. Now the reason we couldn't do that with traits is because the trait ID, the trait code is there, and because we had to be able to have multiple traits per level, that's why. Because we can have multiple traits per level, so we need to have a level list that has a trait object in it, which will store all the traits. Yeah. So level bonuses has the traits object, and inside of the traits object is a level list, and inside of that level list are all the traits, all the trait objects, which will then be accessed that way. Yeah. Okay. So in order to we pull this out, and we have parameters, params, and we have traits, and those will both be so param is parm object. I'm not sure why I decided to do it that way, but I did do it that way. I'm actually not using parm object down here though, so we don't even need that. I'm not even sure why I used it that way for. So we'll do that. Traits is a list. Actually, just trying to think about how this is going to work as a practical matter. So, we have traits. We have a trait at key 0, which equals level, and level has all the traits in it, which has the trait objects, which are just the code, data ID, and value. And then we can get the icon using the trait ID into the stat data stats. States. Keep saying stats instead of states. If we need to. So don't need to store the icon in there. Yeah, I think that'll work. So what we'll do is, now the problem with this levels thing here is that it's going to be 0 indexed. Well, it's not so much a problem as it is just like we'll have to take care of that in the code. So 0 to 9 being levels 1 to 10, or whatever your max level is. So that's another thing that we'll have to use the max level to loop through this. Well, Not necessarily, because what we'll do is we'll use the level minus 1. So for example, level 0, you never have anything on level 0 or on level 1 because that's the starting level, so whatever you have on the weapon is what's going to be there. So there wouldn't be any bonuses or anything like that for on the first level. So since we go to level 2, so we use the current level, level 1, to pull the bonuses for level 2, since 2 is really index 1 in this list. So it's kind of, well, it's key 2, or key 1 in this, so. Now for params, level bonuses params. So that's going to be the param ID and then so that's the same kind of thing. So we have the param ID, which is different though. So it's the ID of the param we're changing, and then the values for that, which are actually in a. Are these in a list? They are in a list, so we just pull the 0 through 9 on those, or 0 through whatever on those, using the same method that we do with the traits. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to get those lists out here. So let's start at the top. Var new traits equals this underscore wet dot underscore level bonuses. So this is for traits. So traits, and then we're going to say this dot underscore wep dot underscore level. So that'll pull out the ones that we want. Var new params equals this dot underscore wep dot underscore level bonuses params. Now for this, this one we'll have to do a bit differently. So we have so we need to do we'll make this new params still, but we're gonna initialize it as an object real quick, and then we're going to do a for in loop to pull out the whatever's in there for this weapon for the bonuses, and then we'll store those into the new params, and then we can just use them that way. So we'll have to do another for in later for this, but this makes it easier than having to type all this crap out to get to it. Param ID, we'll call it. Since a new params param ID equals this dot underscore wep underscore level bonuses params, and then param ID. And that should pull out the information that we want for that particular parameter. So again, we're basically we're kind of restructuring this, because the way this is stored is we have these params and we have the param ID. Well, no, maybe we don't need to do it that way. Go away. So we're storing params and param ID within the parsing int. Params parse int to params I1. So that's a list. So level bonuses params param ID equals the list. So actually, you know what? We don't really need to do that, do we? What we can just do is wherever we're at, we just need to pull this out, and then we'll get everything using this. Whoops. Alright, let's just do that. Because that way we pull, that's how we should do it. We'll need that for in loop later though. So there's our new stuff there. Now, that's fine. Durability. There's also one for durability. It is called... It's in the dur key, dur increase. And yeah, we just need to store it in a variable. Var new durability equals this to underscore whip dot underscore level bonuses dur. Now, is there anything else we need? So params. But did I handle that per? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. Just wasn't sure if we had done that yet or not. So, coats, dur increase, params, and then this stuff is not level based stuff. So yeah, that's everything. So now, what we want to do is bonuses, using the wrong side. Okay. So our next thing to do is going to be to durability. We have to change the durability if it's different. So if this to underscore whip, or let's say this, if new durability is not 0, then we'll update it. This, or not update it, we'll display it differently. Build it differently. Because we won't want to update it until we say okay. Otherwise we have to undo stuff when we're updating it. When we choose not to update it. So it's better to do it this way. So we're going to have this durability plus new durability. Typo there. So the old versus the old plus the so the current plus what's new, and we want to do the same thing on the max dur. So we're updating that as well. Else we just do the previous version. Come on. And wdir equals okay, close all that. Get rid of this and all this. Okay. Now, so for the parameters, the best way to do this is going to be to let's see. Let's see, draw icon, text level, Okay, so parameters, that, so params. So I'm thinking the best way to do this is going to be a loop, but we have to figure out, so here's the thing with the loop. We're going to need to do something to handle this stuff. So every 1, 2, 3, fourth one, we have to reset x, and we have to add 15 plus the text width of the last item to x on each loop. So x equals 2 should probably be out here to start with. So this is going to be a for loop, obviously. There I1 equals 0. I1 is less than 5. And then I1 plus plus. So now, obviously, we have to do an if statement at the beginning here. So if I1 equals 4, in other words, if we're on the last element, then at the end of this, we need to say I1 equals 0. And then also reset x. Now, the other kind of annoying thing is the fact that the stats we're using, they're not in order. In other words, these are actually stats 0 and 1, but we're not using them in the top part. Only in the extended part. So what we have to do is we have to build out a list of these, of the IDs for the stats that we're using. Not so hard to do. We just need to go over here and build them from what the because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up accessing the final params elements of the game instance weapon directly instead of through these getters, because we need to be able to use the ID values in this case. So let's just go ahead and copy this back over again for like the third or fourth time now so far. So we'll need to find the ID, find the variable over here for this, and then we'll just put, like, at the end of it, we'll put the ID that it is. So this is 2, I think. Def is 3, 4. These ones are easy because they're all pretty much in order. All right, now this one is the one that gets kind of interesting. Luck, hits. So now, actually, this isn't even a different thing, isn't it? This is X params. Right. So that's going to be even more complex. Our node isn't. All we have to do is just make sure that we have them in the right order. Never mind. So 0, because if we put them in a list, it's just we're gonna pull the 0 out and put it in there, and boom, we'll get it. The only difference is, so I was right. Not in the way that I thought I was right, but we have to be able to use, we need to know when to use final params, X params, and SP params for that, though. So we're going to have a couple lists, I think, which is fine. It's kind of annoying, but it's fine. So hit eval, evasion is 1. Critical is, so at least they're not mixed together. So there's not like a regular param, SP param, then regular param. They're in groups, so it's all the regular params, all the X params, all the SP params. HRG. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any SP params in this first group. 7, 8, and 9 for the last ones, it looks like. And these are the bonus ones. So 0, 1. CEV is 3. 4, 5. I think counter is after MRF. Oh, so this is actually 6 and this is 5. Target is 0. I think that's all the S params all the way down, so it's just, yeah. Alright. So now we need to build a couple lists here. So let's call this var base f params. Just a static list is all we need to do. So just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Var base e params equals 0, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Then I'd rather put it down here on top of this, just so we keep those together with their logically organized, so they're with their own group of parameters here. So extended final params 0, 1. Var extended x params 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll say e params of x params, and then all of them. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now this is where things get a little interesting. So for the first group we have 6 and 6, so it's kind of a little bit easier, sort of. Maybe we should organize them in the actual groups that they're in, instead of by this, organize them into whatever groups they are. So like so base group 1, base group 2. Maybe that's what we'll do instead, because that way they're actually going to be. We can just use the group list and put everything that's on that particular row together, instead of having to try and figure out where things are broken up at. So we don't have to mess around with carrying over X's or something like that. So base P group 1, we'll say. P group 2. So there should be 3 of these. 3 groups of 4. And we'll just have to keep track of which list to use based on the, based on where we're at. That's an easier thing to do than doing it the other way around. So same thing here. And I'm not going to keep them up here because now they're not broken down that way. It'd be easier to keep them down here with their sections so I can refer back to them. Maybe we can move them back up here after we've built out the logic for it, but for now it'd be easier to keep them down here. Okay. So this first group is so all this is all final params, so that's fine. These two are final, these two are X, and the rest of these are X. There's no SP params in this. So if I1 is 4, then set it back to that. We need to have a I2. So what the I2 is going to do is going to allow us to track the groups that we're in. So if I4 is 0, then if I2 is 1, or 0 rather. So if I1 is 4 and I2 is 0, we're going to do something different. Else, if I2 equals 1, we'll do something. Else if I2 equals 2, we'll do something different. Just because we need to be able to have the to handle everything else, and then do else with the same configuration. It's going to be kind of a messy thing, but that's what we have to do. Oh yeah, and then I2 plus plus at the end of that. So, so this one's pretty simple. All we have to do, we can do this on both of them because all these are from the same group here. Now, so or do we want to do it this way? I mean, not this way as in that, but I mean, how we have it set up. Maybe what we want to do is because we're not going to use all these things together because we're only going to use the ones that are different. So we need to build this, something like this. We have to build it off of what we have in the new params. So let's kind of rethink that for a second. So first we need to build a list of labels. And they'll have to be in the order that we want to put them in, obviously. Well, they'll be in the order that they're in, I suppose. What we need to do, though, is we need to determine if the label is in the extended or not. It's extended. Because if it's in the extended and it's changing, we still don't want to see it. Unless the option to show the extended params is on. Or do we? Maybe we show everything, even if it's extended with extended off. Because that's a change. I think we'll do it that way. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, that is right. So on this, because we have different groups of params that have the same IDs, we need something to identify what type of param this is. So maybe it'll be param s param x param. Maybe we'll do it that way. On the actual tag thing. So let's go back down here real quick. So we're gonna have params, and we're gonna have s params, and we're gonna have x e params. So also if e param, also have s param. So it's all, this code's all the same. So that all we have to do is just add those in to handle those particular entries, and then change this to what we want to make it. So s params. Okay, so now over here, this is better now, because now what we'll do is new params, new s params, new e params. That way we don't have to worry about handling that situation. So now, we still need to build this list though, but it's going to be easier. So, we will have a new, we need to make a new, so var new parm labels. There's going to be a list. Or should we make it an object? So it's going to hold, so this is going to hold no, this will hold the label for each one that we want to print. So this should be a list. It'll be a string list. So for so these are going to be broken down by the ID of the param and the, so it has to be a foreign, right? This is where the foreign is going to go in. For var PID in params, new params. So if should we check to see if it's got something in it? No, because if it's there, it should have something in it. So now how are we going to handle putting if it's an attack or whatnot? That we have to handle as well. So maybe on this we create a new. No, it wouldn't be here. It would, well, we could do it here, but I think it'd be better to do it here. We'll need to create a new function to return what type of parameter it is. So window lep status. So I'll pass through parm type and parm ID. And in this now, we need to have, let's grab this real quick. So I'm going to create 3 lists. So parm names, eparm names and sparm names. Probably should make it capital on the parm on these. And we'll call this bparm for base parm. Base param names. Alright, so mhp, mmp, attack, def, mdef, or rather mattack first, then def. AGI, luck, hit, EVA, crit, HRG. Oh wait, we've luck was the last one. Whoops. All right, there's that. So EVA, or no, hit then EVA. Then crit, and then CEV, MEV. Then MFR, then counter, and then HRG, MRG, and TRG. And finally then TGR, GRD, PHA, MCR, TCR, PDR, MDR, FDR, and EXR. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we got one. We're missing one. REC. That's the one we're missing. That goes after GRD. Okay. So there's our lists of names. So all we need to do come on. Is say if parm type equals 0, then return b parm names parm ID, else if parm type is 1, okay. That's all we need to do for that. And this way we don't have to hard code the names and don't need to know what names are going to be there. So, now. So what we need to do now is say for base parms. So this one's going to be a loop of new parms. So we're going to use the final on this one. So on this one, all we want is the change. So just whatever's from in the new parm value. So new parm labels. Well, it's var first. Var parm string equals the this dot get parm name 0 PID plus this dot set sign this new parms PID and then the level. So this dot underscore whip and then pass to true because now this is an update. So that does the, yeah, that's all we need. So yeah. And then new parm labels dot push parm str. I think that's all we really need to do. So for base, for X, and for SP. So how did I structure those down here though? Yeah, E is 2. And S is 3. Let's change this to 1. Change this to new E parms. And new S parms. And change this to 3. Or 2. So whatever params are in these, oops, let's also put these here. So whatever changes are there, if this is not equal 0. Only if it doesn't equal 0. Okay, so that builds our parameter list. We don't need any of these. We might even want to do something like this up on the other section later on. So now, back down here, don't need these either. So we're just going to go on, this is going to be based on the new parm label instead of labels. We're still going to do it in chunks of 4. So now, so we draw the text down here. Oh, we don't need I2. Do we need I2? We don't need I2 anymore with this method, so that's good. Get rid of all that complexity we don't need. All right, so so I'll have x is 2, and then var y multi equals 6. Or what we could do is say y1 equals so now what we do is all we have to do is change the value of, well actually, damn, true. So this we'll have to reset y1 every 4 as well. So you can, or no, every 1, that's right. It's every single one because, or no, every 4. 4 of these equals 1 line. I was right the first time. So x goes back to 2, then we increase ym. Okay, so now on this. So we're on labels. So this is going to be crap. We do still need I2, actually. Because I1's going to be needed to iterate through the list now, so we need I2 to keep track of the rows. So in this we're going to say new param labels dot I1 let's do it this way. Again, so that we can just keep this kind of cut down a bit. And then we have to update x. So x plus equals this dot text width label plus 15, was it? Yeah. So then reset x to 2, increase the multiplier by 1, re-evaluate the y1 expression there with a new ym, and reset I2 to 0. And let's check the place of all of this. Now, traits. That's another interesting sticky wicket. So for traits, what we want to do is similar to what we're doing with this. We only want to show it if we're adding it new or if it's being updated, if the value is being updated. So let's make a note here. So how we want to do this. So only show a trait under 2 conditions. First, if the trait is new, show everything, show the trait. Everything on all text green. Second, if the trait exists, but the chance is being changed, then show the trait. Only chance text green. Or red, I guess I should say. Green, red. That one's only green, but this can be green or red if you're reducing it for whatever reason. Maybe maybe you are reducing it because you're adding in another trait that's kind of powerful as well. So we need to handle this now. So we've already got our list of traits up here that we built from before. Those are the existing traits. And we have our new list of traits here, which are built pretty much the same way. So traits, this .weapon level is going to pull all the trait records that we create for it. So we should be able just to compare the two groups together because I think they're basically the exact same data. So they should be compatible to compare against. So we are going to start with this. We're going to do a double loop. So for their NTID in new traits. So now if traits or new traits. So if the code is the same and if traits TID dot data ID so specifically though, this section here for the traits is for states, I mean. Pretty much. There are other traits as well, but in this case, traits is going to mean states. I guess in the future we could add in the other traits as well that are not parameter traits. The problem is, though, is you have a whole bunch of those, you're going to run off the edge of the screen with this because it's more easy to put too many traits in if to display too many traits if you have you know, a whole bunch of other types for tracking as well. Of course, it also depends on well, even if it's I think the resolution is always the same whether it's full or full screen or not. So So there's the traits. Data ID equals new traits. NT ID. So if the code and the data IDs are the same, then it's already in there. Let's also add a bool up here. Var does B trait doesn't exist, or B trait exists. False. So if it does exist, maybe we're going about this backwards. I think we are. We want to go the other way. And I'll explain why in a second. So what we're doing here is we're we want to cycle through the new traits and see if a trait already exists. Now, if we were going to the other way, that would be fine, except the way that I want to do this is if it doesn't exist, I want to have the new trait data available to me outside of the inner for loop, because that way if we go through the for loop and by the time it exits it and we say the trait doesn't exist, then all we do is just build the display line based on the data from the new traits. If it does exist, then we have to use the inner section to do a different type of building so that we can have the additional, we can have the old value plus the new value on the chance. So so what we want to do now is and of course we need to do all this stuff as well, the X and Y's and things. So we have X contents width. So that's our placement on the X axis. That doesn't change. So that should go outside of this. And we have Y1, which we're setting to 0 to start with. Okay. So we're not using a iterative for loop anymore, so this won't work. So the main problem was that we had to be able to add this onto the next line, not the first one, in order to get the spacing. Otherwise it just pushes everything down. So you have to have like a starting line for the Y1. So I think we'll do like we did with the other one. So we'll have a var ym1, which will equal 6 for now. Well, 6. Yeah, 7. Or no, 6, yeah, because it's plus 0. And then we'll have a var ym2, which is going to be 5 times I1, so it starts on 5. And then we're going to have the Y1, which we're going to build out using this. So I1 equals this times ym1, and that plus ym2. I also want to put these out here. Alright, let's initialize them. So in here now, TR icon, name, and chance. So chance, these two are going to be just what they are. Now this one is going to be what's existing plus the new. So 100 times new and also truncating it. Okay, then so we have that. Then we need to do this. So how do we draw just a portion of it as green? I guess we have to do everything green. We can't just do one section of it unless we do the. Oh no, yeah, we can. Never mind. It's all right. Duh. I'm thinking that was all that was there. No, it's got all this too. So. So on the chance one here, we want to change. So set this dot set text color. No, change text. Change color, text color. Dot contents. What is the text color change? Crap. This dot change text color, yeah. This wasn't showing up in the list for the version. And then it's hex code, I think. Or can you use also, let me see. Contents, color, text color. Let me look if we can use a declared color, or if we have to use the hex color. RPG maker NV. So that's not text color 1. Can we use that? I think that's in window. It might be in core though. It doesn't show what the colors are. This dot text color. I think we just need it. We'll just do the thing. I'll just have to go find the hex code for green. Let's see, HTML color hex codes. HTML color codes. So somewhere in a green kind of fashion here, or red. So OFA 908, or 0FA, I guess, technically. And then this dot reset text. Okay, and I'll just do that. And now on this, we want to so on here, then we want to once we've created something, we want to ym1 plus plus ym2 plus plus. And then y1 equals, basically call this again. And then reset x. And then we want to set b trait exists equals true. Now, if it doesn't exist, then we want to create it. So pretty much the same way. So we want to move the change text color above this. And instead of being this, we only want that. And we'll need to use the new traits here. Again, this is assuming a state trait. And that should get reset. Yeah, this gets set to false every time, so we don't need to change it to false. There. Actually, no, that doesn't need to be there. These need to come out. Okay. So, in theory, that's all that we should need to do. Again, that's theory. So to test this, what we're going to do is we're just going to swap out, for the moment, this to this. So we can go in here and see what it looks like without having to have the rest of the level scene actually made yet. Okay, we got extra token else. 255. Or 522, rather. 522. Oh, because we. Yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense. We wiped out the. Blew away the curly brace. The closing curly brace. It's like, wherefore art thou from? You else. Alright, so. Yeah, new params not defined. Awesome. Okay, so new params not defined. 7. So when we go to do that, because weapon level bonuses params is null. That doesn't sound right. So let's go to our plugin and throw in a break right there. Okay, let's see what's going on. So this dot wep so we got stuff here. That's fine. New params, new S and E params is undefined though because we didn't have anything for them, and we did not set them to a default in over here. Okay, yes we did. Well, we should have set it to an empty. Well, I guess that's the same as undefined, I suppose. So what we need to do is, but it said new params. Okay, let's just continue and see what happens. Just come down here. Param ID is 2. Oh, that's new params. Damn it, typo. Actually, I might not have saved the changes I made on that too. So new params. All of them are bugged. Alright. Not a big deal. Oh, that's funny. We forgot to add in the actual value. So it would add a bunch of pluses and minuses and nothing else. Oh, that would have been funny. Wouldn't have been very productive. Okay, so now, do we need to... Okay, we have this. Let's do it this way, or... I think it'll work that way. And that'll clear up this issue. Because if they don't have anything in there, we just want to have like an empty thing. Yeah, that looks like that worked. Or at least it's... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, dir is capital D. As in dir. Why the dir is there capital dir? D, rather. D. Alright, that should fix that. Oh, yeah. Alright. So. PID. PID, what? PID is not defined. What line? 794? Ah. Damned typos. Well, it's not really... Well, technically it is a typo, I guess. So it's a typo of sorts. Alright, let's see what's in new parm labels. What do we have? Hey, we have an undefined. So what was that new parms then? Should have only been... Okay, so +1 plus... Oh, for the first one here, okay. Well then what was 10? 10. Why is that 10? Oh, because I entered it in incorrectly in the tag, that's why. That should be, what should it be? 10. Where are the names at real quick? So the element it could be is over here. What was I thinking 10 or something? So attack and what? Well, we'll use counters, so that's 10, 9, 8, 7, so that's 6. So 9, 8, 7, 6. We'll change that to a 6 on eparams. No clue what I put that 10 in there for. That's why it's undefined. So we're going to have to do some... adding in of debugging statements or error statements or things like that to say like parameter name not found, check note tag or something. Okay. Because it's new parm labels, not param labels. Crap. Okay, so new parm labels, new param labels. This should be parm labels for label. That's the only place that that's used at, so that's fine. Restart. Okay, new game. So data ID. So we got a bit further now. So we're down into the traits at this point. So where was the 879? So I didn't get rid of this stuff. That's what happened. It's the console. I'm surprised it didn't throw a different kind of... Well, because you can actually have JavaScript that way. And apparently some people actually code it that way, which is... Don't even get me started. It's like everything on one line is like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's not how you're supposed to code it. Now, if you have a minified thing, that's fine. But I mean, if you're actually writing code that way, don't ask me to do anything for you because I will not be able to help you. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if this works now or if we got more problems. I'm banking on the latter. Yep, icon index of null. So we got a problem with that. So that's on 909. Line 909, because if we don't have any, right, so, well, wait, oh, true, so if, ID is 0, so if ID is, so wait a second, let's do this again. I want to put a break down here and see what we're actually getting. 909. Is that line that was on 909? Yeah, it's down here. I want to see what the ID is that we're pulling in. And what we're actually getting at all, period, I guess. Because either we need to handle if there's no... well, it shouldn't even have anything in there if there's no traits. But maybe there is. So we need to figure out what's actually going in there and what should be going in there. Okay, watch, get rid of the call stack, get rid of the locals. Or we could maybe use the locals. So, let's see, the list is called... Okay, now this stuff we don't care about. This we've already verified it's not erroring for the moment. This is where we want to be at now. So, end traits equals, so what's in end traits? We have traits, but what's in end traits? End traits has 0, 0, 0, okay. So, there is no 0 code, that's the problem. So if, well, let's play this safe. Let's say if everything is 0, then don't process it. If new traits rather, let's do it this way, does not equal. That way we can just do the negative confirmation and not have to do this and an else or make an else or something. Still need to fix that first window there. Okay, no, because that's probably not going to work now. Well, we've got, so we got some stuff that's okay. Oh, wow. This just said, so we added 1 to it, so we got 11. So yeah, but here we go. We got the +1 attack, +2, and that's on 2 or on 3? So that's on 2. Okay, that is on 2. So we have attack +1 to counter +2. So what's up with durability? Why do we got this huge list of numbers? Like, where the hell did that come from? Then we need to do the text highlighting for these, and then we need to try doing 3 to get the trait stuff to show up as well. So first, let's check out the durability. What's up with that? So new durability equals bonuses durability, which is a list of values. And then, oh, right, we're missing the, that's what it is, this.wep. We're missing that. So that should be fine now. But for this one, on the level, I think we have to do that. Okay, there we go. So level 2, 60 out of 60, perfect. Because the first one adds 5. Or no, that's right. I forgot the first one. So that one that'll fix that. That's something else to keep in mind. The first level on this should always be 0, and then you do whatever you want to after that. But the first one should always be 0. Look, all durability is up now. Hit apply. Okay, we'll need to close this and save it. Now I want to do this as I want to upgrade the level to 3. So before we start this, we're just going to say this_wep dot level +2. And actually, we need to put this up here. Actually, it should be +1. The reason we need to put it up here is because the traits is pulling it right here. So you need to do it before that to get the next level traits. So if it's 1, we get 0. If it's 2, we're getting 3. No, yeah. If it's 1, we're getting 2. If it's 2, we're getting 3. Because 0 indexed. So now, when we run this, we'll see what happens with the traits. We'll see if we get any new errors from that. Okay, we have no traits apparently, but we got the durability. Oh. It'd help if we actually made it a plus equals, wouldn't it? Actually increase it. Instead of just leaving it the same and saying +1 and having it just do nothing. It's like, wait a second here. Doesn't seem right. So continue new game. Alright, so we got the 60 here. No parameter increases, but the traits didn't show up either. So let's go ahead and see what we got going there. Because the traits should have come in this time. That's right, we don't have the cancel in there yet. Or no, yeah, okay. So that was right. All right, let's put a thing there. F5. So we got to see what's going on, what we're getting into there, because apparently it's failing this check. So everything is 0 still when it shouldn't be. So scope, traits, new traits. Yay, new traits is nothing. So what's going on with new traits? Why isn't that building out properly? Maybe because... Oh, so new traits equals weapon level traits. So if we look at traits... not traits, not that traits, this traits. What do we have in there? Oh, okay. So we do have all zeros. So what is this dot weapon level? Better yet, let's just do this. Yeah, so I was gonna say we should have a whole bunch of stuff in here. So 0. Oh, it's on 4. Right. Because it's no, yeah, because now it's level 2. Okay, we need one more level. I goofed, or didn't goof, but I knew I put 2 there for a reason. I was like, wait, no, it can't be 2. It's got to be 1. I knew I put 2 there for a reason. It's like it's all right. Now let's give it a shot and see what we get with the traits. Okay, now we got stuff in there. Just gonna take these out for now. We'll just see what happens. Boom. There we go. We got stuff. This oh, that's awesome. Good. This worked. This whole part worked, but the issue is that oh wow, we're missing a trait actually. Or no, it's only traits that have changed. Right. So now, why did it still move that down? So let's have a look here. So if trait code and ID are the same, then update, which we've done here. Now, if it's not, if we have a trait code in here. So wait. Okay, we're going through and we're saying okay, we're checking the inner codes, so it wouldn't match, that's fine. But it doesn't okay, the upper one doesn't have it, which is fine, so it wouldn't matter in there. But why do we have this thing still down? Because so let's look at the this stuff up here. So draw icon 40, and it's just Y. Then the next one is Y plus line height. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. This is the one we want. So the first one is going to be without the without this part. So this is the same issue I was running into before. So the problem is that we're adding all the stuff in on all of that in the first time, and we don't really need to do that the first time. So in other words, we actually need a var y2. That one has that, and this one doesn't. So then, I think I knew that we're going to need that, and that's why the I1 is here, but I never actually did it, because who knows why. So what we'll actually do, though, to make this easier, is if I1 is 0, then Y1 then, or if it's not 0, rather, then Y1 equals Y2. So plus 5. Does that increase though? Yeah, because it adds a little space underneath, so that does increase. Or no, but it doesn't increase every line though, does it? Where's the code at? So yeah, no, it does. So you had 5 times I1 plus this. Okay. So down here, only increase. There's what we'll do. Pull this over. Crap. Well, we'll just copy paste it over. Before I restart it this time, unlike last time. It's not equal 0. Then we'll put the this stuff into it, and then we also have to do the Y2 update. no issues. Good. So didn't copy the wrong number of brackets or anything. Damn, it's still doing it this way. But still, you can see that this is working now. So we got the blind, which is totally new. Poison's being updated to add some more in there. So, and our durability's been updated, our level's been updated. Parameters, only the ones being updated are shown. We'll need to we'll need to change this text color to green as well. So awesome. We got it working almost the way we want to. Need to figure out how to fix this and then do the text coloring on that. And this. And both of these. And then move this over a bit. So that's going to be it for the stream for now. I may do a bit of streaming later. We do a little bit of streaming later, but we'll see. Gonna take a break either way. Probably if I do come back, it'll be around 7:30 or 8 when I start again. So in about an hour, and what would it be? It's like an hour and 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. Or so an hour and a fifth. So what is it? I just said 7:30 to 8. So 3 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, there. Got it. And I'll start the stream up again. If I'm going to. If not, then I won't be streaming, obviously. But we're getting there. Nearly done with this. We'll just need to, I think when we, the next time we do stream, do streaming, what we'll do is we'll also then implement the gold cost and the experience cost formulas into the note tag, and then we'll implement the functionality into the code to actually calculate those and produce values. So, and then obviously we'll fix this and then change this window to the level up, and then build out the rest of the level up functionality, and then actually make it so that we can level up a weapon and change the stats and whatnot. And then that'll be the goal for the next those will be the goals for the next streaming that we'll do. So thanks for watching, and if I see you later, I'll see you later. If I don't, then I won't.